Good morning, everybody. It is Friday, and I would say TGIF, and I wish you a TGIF, but it's not my Friday. My Fridays are actually Saturdays because tomorrow I drive down to Jesse's and work for him all day, and the only day off I have every week is Sunday. So my Friday's tomorrow, but TGIF to you guys, and I hope that you enjoy it. I know a lot of you started school, and so you're probably like happy for the weekend already, even though it's only the first week of school. And at least for us, actually, I say a lot of people started school, but I know it's kind of all over the place because I actually found out that like the next county over, they started school like a week ago, and so I don't know, everybody has different school schedules. But if you started school this week, or if you've been in it a week, or if you haven't started yet, it's still TGIF, so congratulations. I had a question yesterday, which was, have you always been into video games, or is it a more recent thing? And I have always been into video games. I'm going to date myself a little bit here. My parents had an Atari console, and they had like Pac-Man, they had Centipede, they had Space Invaders, and as early as I can remember, I picked up that remote, or that controller, and I played. And I wasn't really good at it. I was better at Pac-Man, and I liked Pac-Man more than the other two, but, guys, get out of the blinds. My cats, they're like wrestling all along the blinds. Cats, am I right? And so I started with that, and we also had a Tandy computer, which I believe Tandy was the beginnings of Macintosh, I believe. Or they got bought out by Macintosh. I don't know the exact story on that, but we had a Tandy computer. Very old computer. And it had like those, I think they're 8-inch floppy disks, but they looked like 5 inches to me, but whatever. But 5-inch floppy disks, so I had like King's Quest and Black Cauldron, and there were like a bunch of like really pixelated games that I just ate up when I was a kid. I loved them, especially Black Cauldron because I had seen the cartoon. And there are two games actually that I played way back when that I would, if you guys know what they are, if you ever find out, let me know, because I've tried looking for them and I can't find them for like an emulator or something. One of them is, I don't know the name of it, but it's like just basically black screen, white text, there's no graphics on it whatsoever, and you're a detective and you go to some kind of like fishing town or some town on the shore, because I know it was near the ocean and there was a lighthouse involved. And so you're a detective and you're there to figure out a mystery. And I can't remember what the mystery was, but basically it was one of those games where it's like it describes what's all around you, and you know, you can say, type in the command turn left, walk to door, open door, and like, you know, you go in and it's like a fishing shop, and you know. And so when I was younger, I didn't really understand and I didn't keep track of the mystery. But I love to play it again because there's something in my mind that was like, that was a fond memory. I'd like to try it again. Second game, and this is the one I liked the most of all, was text-based and a little bit of graphics. It was like the top half of the screen, there were 3 boxes. One was a map, a mini map with your character on it, and your character was basically just like a little like rectangle with like a dot in it, and that's it. And then the middle one was items that you picked up, and then the third one was if you ran into a specific character or something like that, it would actually have like a little pixelated picture of the character. And you go to a castle, and again, like the king was murdered, and you have to try to figure out who murdered him and figure out the mystery of the castle. And there was like a skeleton, and to get down into the dungeon, you had to give him a password, and there'd be like a little pixelated picture of him. And I remember that the answer to that question was Basilisk, and there was a dragon, but he was sleeping, and I never got to wake him up or interact with him at all. And I think I did actually look at the king, and it said something about he had bruising on his back and like weird stuff. And so I'd like to play it again because, again, I don't remember much of it, and when I was little, I don't feel like I had the skills to get through these games as much as I would as an adult. So if you know what those games are, let me know. And then my dad brought home a Nintendo one day, which I was ecstatic. And we were always a console behind, by the way, because we didn't have a lot of money, so it would be like, you know, the Super Nintendo would come out and we'd get a Nintendo and, you know, like that type of thing. So I remember he came home with that, and we had Super Mario Brothers, and then my cousin and I would stay the night at each other's houses, and he brought all sorts of games over, like Batman, if you guys remember the Nintendo Batman, I loved that game. Metroid, God, I played so many, it's hard to even, like, I would go to there was a local video store too, and I would rent games, like I played like the old Little Mermaid, which was actually pretty darn hard, and just all sorts of fun games. And then we finally got a Super Nintendo, which came with Yoshi's Island, and that was really fun. I really wanted to play like the original Super Mario games, but I still liked playing the Yoshi games because he was cute, but it was like Baby Mario, and I don't know. And then and that was actually like when I mean, like I liked gaming before then, but I really got into it with Super Nintendo because my friends and I we played Final Fantasy VI, which was called Final Fantasy III back then, and we would like marathon play it with one another with like lemonade and popcorn, and we'd take turns playing just for the story. And we would play all the Disney games. Disney came out with some great games for Super Nintendo. There was like Aladdin, the Lion King game. I played the crap out of the Lion King game. And the Toy Story game. There's so many good games for the Super Nintendo. And then we got a PlayStation. And again, like, PlayStation 2 was already out, but like, you know, yeah. And, you know, I kept moving up from there. And so I'd always had consoles. And I can't remember when I started playing on my computer mainly. I can't remember, but I transitioned over basically using, I think it was when someone introduced me to World of Warcraft. I think that's when I started using my computer more and more, and so I started buying like more and more games for the computer, and now I pretty much buy all my games for my PC. And I noticed I feel more comfortable like with the PC controls as opposed to the controller, and I gotta kind of get back into the controller because whenever someone hands me a controller now, I'm like, this is foreign to me. Even though I have a PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, and a Wii, and I hardly ever play them. Like, I never get the chance. So, but I have them, and I want to play them. I just never have the time because I have so many games on my computer. But yeah, I've always played games. I've always had a passion for them. It's something that I loved on my own. It wasn't, you know, because a friend introduced me or anything like that, really, because it was my parents. I actually think that, you know, my mom loved Tetris. Like, when we had a Nintendo, God, I love my mom. She would get all comfortable in her, like, rocking chair. I swear to God, a rocking chair. She'd get all comfortable, she'd wrap herself in a blanket, she'd get the controller, and she'd just play Tetris like crazy. She'd get to, like, the last levels, and she'd just be, like, fast. She'd get, like, the huge rocket ship, you know, when you finally do, like, I don't know if it's between levels or when you die, but, like, you know, and the rocket ship shoots off. She'd get, like, one of the huge ones that would, like, take off and the whole screen would be taken up, and she loved that. And then my dad, he actually said that back in the day he used to go to like the arcade all the time and everything, and so when the Atari came out, he snatched that up and started playing that. And so I'm pretty sure I get it from my parents, although they have not continued to play games. I think I pretty much took over the controller when we got like a Nintendo, and since then they've never played. Well, except for when my mom would play Tetris, but I think like my dad would try to play Mario Brothers with me, and I would be like, no, you're doing it wrong. No, you need to go there. You need to go there. Hey, you need to jump right here. Like, I would be like a little kid, like, trying to tell him what to do, and I think he got frustrated with me, especially because I made him be Luigi. I love my dad. So yes, I've been into video games for a long time. And speaking of video games, I purchased Gone Home yesterday for 20 bucks. And the game is amazing. I love it. And I'm going to say that it's worth the 20 bucks, but it is very short. I finished it all last night. probably, actually I need to look at my Steam to see exactly how much time I took to play it, but it feels like it was only about 2 or 3 hours. And even though it was amazing, I feel like $20 was okay. I feel like they probably couldn't get more than $20. I feel like it's probably worth a little bit less, just because it's so short though. The content, no. Shortness, yes. But it was really good. It had, again, all these independent games. Not all of them, I know some of them are just for fun, but a lot of the independent games have really good messages behind them because people are making them from their heart, instead of making them for money and for the big wow factor and everything like that. They're making them from their heart. They're making them with specific messages, and Gone Home definitely has a really good message. And I will talk about it more later because I want more people to play it before I talk about like spoilers or anything like that. But the end of the game had me thinking. Like, I was sitting there thinking to myself, like, how does that work? Because in my situation, people would be taken care of. Like, there would be repercussions. And I mean, you don't really see the repercussions in the end of the game because it just ends, but yeah, I actually, yeah, once you guys are done with it, just we'll have a talk. We'll have a spoiler talk. I'll label the video spoiler. So anyway, but yeah, I finished that all in one night, got it done, and then I did Hector Badge of Carnage. Gone Home 30 Minutes will be next Tuesday, by the way. But I did Hector Badge of Carnage, and let me know what you think. Again, it's very, like, the first one feels very low budget, but the next chapters, like, kind of improve, so let me know if you want me to do any of the other chapters. I loved the game. It's very, as I said, it's very adult, and there are very adult moments in it, and it's fun to watch. But, yes. So if you guys have any questions for me, I feel like there was another question actually from the video yesterday, but I'm going to have to look it up and answer it in my video next time because I couldn't remember it off the top of my head. But that's how I got started in video games. It wasn't recent. It's been all along, and my life has circulated around it, and that's why I'm really glad that I'm getting a job that involves video games, because that's what I enjoy and that's what I want to focus on. So if you have any questions for me, please let me know, and if you liked the video, please like and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Have a good weekend!